Well, hello there, and welcome to yet another episode of SoFly.
Okay, buddy.
Just go from talking off recording to just turning it on. But hi, my name is Mitch, and we've got Aldo.
Hello, everybody.
Aldo's cracking a veer.
You want to know why I'm cracking this?
Why?
Because it's a long weekend, buddy.
It's a long weekend here in Canada. It's Friday. Of course, this is the Canada Day long weekend. So yeah, we've got Monday off, and I'm off today too, which is pretty sick.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. But perfect time to enjoy a non-alcoholic beer or maybe
An
some
alcoholic
alcoholic
beer.
beers. Maybe both. But right now you're having a veer.
I know I talked a
Delicious.
big game about liking the IPA one.
Yeah.
But I think the lager with lime is now my favorite.
Yeah, how can that not be good?
I don't know.
A lime lager. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again to another episode of SoFly, episode 170. We have a fun show today where we're talking to Kelly, who is co-owner, founder of Backcountry Skinz, which if you don't know what Backcountry Skinz is, which you probably do because they're kind of everywhere right now. But they're like these really wicked wet wading products that you can put on to ditch the waders if you're going on a little backcountry adventure or not. But anyway, we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But before we get into all that stuff, what should we talk about first?
Well, actually, just like a quick aside, I tried my Backcountry Skinz out for the first time this week. On a tailwater around here.
So chilly.
And it was a bit, we temp the water at 15 degrees Celsius.
Oh, wow.
And I was so comfy, man.
Yeah, they were good. They worked.
I still think I haven't done it yet, but I still think they're going to be the perfect portaging pant.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean,
like in and out of the water, staying
yeah.
warm, but staying nimble, active. I think they're going to be sick, not just for fishing.
That's what they're designed to do, But
well, actually, we can start with we got news.
Yeah, what's our news?
Well, we did a bit of a brand facelift, and we've got some some news surrounding that as well. So, yeah, Mitchie's been hard at work, and we've been arguing for a month or more, going off of colors and
oh my god,
fonts and stuff. But yeah, SoFly. If you check out SoFly.ca, and if you look at our Instagram and our YouTube channel, you'll notice, hopefully you'll notice that there's a bit of a new look and feel.
Yeah, we got a whole new look. It's a whole new us. So yeah, we flipped the face of SoFly, and feeling cool, feeling good. It's nice to have a new look. It kind of reinvigorates after so many years of doing this.
Yeah, and then if you're looking on YouTube, I'm wearing one of our older sweaters, and then
the heritage brand.
Yeah, exactly. You look back on how things have evolved, and I think that's really cool. But we're really happy with the new look and feel, and new YouTube thumbs, new Instagram look, and same for TikTok, and yeah. The other thing is now, because first of all, I want to thank everybody because we've got over 20,000 subscribers on YouTube now.
Wow, that is
thank you
awesome.
So much to everybody who's subscribed.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do now that we've seeing so much traffic on YouTube is that we're gonna do a video a week, and on the 1st and 15th, of course, that means a podcast. That's not changing. But then in between those weeks, we'll be posting trip full length trip videos, day trippings, shore lunch, guide profiles, just the stuff that we always do, but we're just going to do it every other week. So you get a podcast or a video every week on our YouTube channel.
So there you go. If you haven't subscribed yet, go subscribe. SoFly Fishing Podcast on YouTube. And yeah, join up because it's fun. Yeah, it's pretty sick. 20,000 K. I was like, or 20,000 subscribers. I was like, damn, that's fucking rad as hell.
Now if we can get to 10,000 Instagram viewers, and we might be viewers.
Please,
followers, viewers.
Well, I can get my viewers.
Please follow us. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, new stuff that we're excited about, and yeah. What else is going on community-wise? Maybe we touch on some stuff.
Yeah, we'll touch in on the community, the various community calendars. Let's start with our pals at Drift Outfitters. There are some cool. It seems like they've shifted into education mode because I know we did a lot of fun community building events like the IF4 and other movie screenings. July 3rd is the Essential Bass Fly Tying class. which
cool.
bass fishing is now open across the province, and the lily pads are calling.
Yeah.
So essential bass fly tying class, that's Wednesday, July 3rd, 6:15. Then there's an
Nice.
intro to Euro nymphing, July 14th, which if you're learning from Chris is one of the best in Canada. He's actually in France right now competing at the Worlds. So if you're
There you go.
taking that class, you're in good hands. Then if you
Merci
take
la
that,
vie.
what?
No, don't worry. It's for our French listeners.
Did you say c'est la vie?
Merci la vie. They'll know what it means.
Do you know what it means?
No, I can't. I actually kind of forget. But every time I learned it when I was on a shoot because I work with people from Quebec, and they were like, "That's the only thing you need to know." It's kind of like their live, laugh, love. I've been saying it, and every time I say it, they love it. I can't remember exactly what it means. I think it's like love life or something.
My favorite one in Italian like that is la dolce di fare niente,
Oh,
which means the sweetness of doing nothing.
dolce la diligencia.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very good. Okay,
It's about
I
just
got it too.
relaxing, which if you ever go to Italy, nobody works. So July 20th, advanced Euro nymphing class.
Yeah.
So maybe you've taken this intro, and within a week you feel like you already need the advanced Euro class,
You want to do
or
the
maybe you already
AEC?
Euro nymph. Honestly, it's also just a good lesson in hydrology and
fly presentation
and fly
in
presentation.
coordination with
Exactly.
hydrology.
Exactly. You can't. I haven't taken this class, but I have been at some of Chris's classes in the past. You learn more than just how to present with a Euro rod. You definitely learn a lot about because
Interactivity
you can't
between fly and water.
talk about Euro nymphing without talking about how a stream works and how to present nymphs properly.
Totally.
So that's great. And then break even beginner fly tying. So this is about getting into fly tying without absolutely massacring your wallet. And
Nice.
that's oh, sorry, that already passed, June 26th. My bad.
I'm sure it was good.
So essential bass fly tying, July 3rd. Intro to Euro nymphing, July 14th. Advanced Euro nymphing, July 20th, from one of the best in Canada, Chris K. Then our friends at Ottawa Fly Fishers, again, just go to ottawaflyfishers.ca. I'm sure they'll be posting. They had all these wicked June events with like Jeff Jackson, and they had the bass opener hangout. I'm sure July they've got a bunch of stuff.
Open.
Bass is open. We don't have anything going on July really. We're just going to be fishing and enjoying the summer, and then we'll probably get back to doing events in the fall. But I hope everybody is having a blast on the rivers, and let us know how you're doing. info@sofly.ca or DM us. We'd love to hear how your summer season's going, because that's it's one of our favorite seasons. We've got kayaks now.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking the kayak out this weekend. Pretty big, pretty hardcore. I've got some upgrades I'm going to be making to it.
Yeah, what did you get?
So I bought well, first of all, I have my fish finder, my Garmin Striker 4. So I got to put that on my
Got that off
yak.
of Shane.
it was Andy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, shout out to Andy. I bought that off of him. And I'm going to put it on my kayak. I'm going to mount it to it in a pretty cool way. So it doesn't encumber me when I'm trying to fly cast. Because I had there was this arm I could buy that goes on the track.
Can you stand on your kayak?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And obviously, that would be so why I bought a motor for it, because it's a bitch to paddle.
Jesus Christ.
Because it's so wide. It's almost 40 inches wide.
You didn't want to go for the pedal drive?
The pedal drive is way too outlandishly expensive. It's more than the price of the kayak. The pedal, I would love to. There's $1,600 to buy the pedal drive system for my yak. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
That's crazy. How much?
So then I was like, maybe I'll get one of these cool back-mounted motors, which eventually I will. But they're also like $1,500, but they're sick because they go on the back of your boat and you use the pedals of your yak, your foot pedals, to turn. You've got a little console for speed. It's so sick. But I'm like, I don't really want to spend $1,500 on a motor right now. So my brother had built, because he has the same kayak, a wood frame that he straps to basically a milk crate and puts behind his chair, and then it's just a normal, I have bought a Minn Kota trolling motor with a clasp mount, so it just sticks to the wood, and then I just do that, and it works so well in his yak.
Oh my god!
And my father-in-law did it on his yak too, with a slightly varied design. It was really cool. He used the scupper holes and did a thing. But I'm gonna do. Ben's just like, my brother is just like, I'll just build you a frame. It takes 2 seconds. I'm like, okay. So then I spent $180 on a trolling motor, and there's a battery at my cottage I'm just gonna steal. And there we go. Now I'm gonna be scooting around. which, yeah, paddling is great. Sometimes you want to fish and not fucking, you got to paddle on your thing, you got the fly, and especially because we're fly anglers, it's not quite as easy. Like if you're fishing out of a yak with a spinning rod or a bait caster, it's much more, it's easier to, but
just
we've got
launching.
line all over the place and fucking shit going on. So you don't want to have the paddle. So, it's nice to be able to use the motor to just like turn it on while you're casting. The other thing is, yeah, the Recon 120, it's an awesome boat. Pain in the ass to paddle in any kind of wind. Like, forget about it. And then the other thing is, look at me. I'm not fucking winning any races. Put a motor on this thing and let's call this a day. So I'm going to put it on this weekend and we're going to zip all around the main lake. We'll go to the pond. Of course, we've talked about many times on the show. We love the ponds. Great largemouth fishing. We'll do that on Sunday. Tomorrow, we're going to just scooch around all around the lake and look for smallies in our yaks.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm stoked because I haven't been on my yak yet this year and I haven't even caught bass yet. It's June 28th. I mean, bass just opened, which is, it's always so crazy. Like in Ontario,
how late it opens.
How late? Yeah, it's like we're into summer now, and it's like, oh, now I can fish. Like,
also inexplicably, the Ottawa region opens a week before us.
Like, why?
What's that doing?
I don't know why that.
I would happily have it open earlier.
I would also love
north.
I'd love to hear from someone about why. I don't know. I just can't. Like, maybe there's an answer. The older I get, the more I kind of think there's probably not. But maybe there is. But yeah,
we all know seasons are there to protect the spawn. But with everything going earlier,
no, and also, like you say, a couple hours away, it's a week earlier.
3 hours away is the border of the two fisheries management zones.
And maybe somebody knows. Maybe someone's listening. They're
like, please,
idiots.
We're ignorant.
I'd like to know because it's curious. But anyways, of course, protect the spawn, all that stuff. It's not a problem. But nevertheless, I'm excited to get out bass fishing. So
yep,
it's gonna be fun.
Oh man, stoked.
Yeah, get the yaks going, and then we got to get your yak out too.
Yeah,
little yak attack.
I got pedal drive on mine.
Yes.
I also have a push pole.
That's cool.
Like a fucking flats boat.
Yeah, so you can just kind of pull yourself.
They called it a sand spear. I'm like,
sand spear?
That ain't no sand spear.
That's a push pole.
Although I got to get a rope for it so I can stake up like the flats boats.
Maybe that's why they're calling it sand spear. They think of it more as like a talon, like an anchor system versus what you could do, which is pull.
Yeah, I want to pull like carp flats.
Yeah. Frankie in the front, just making shots. Poof, cast in the front.
I think she's been on stand-up paddleboards with me before and boats. I think she's going to love it. Because there's like a big, like behind
Frankie's
the seat.
Frankie's Aldo's dog, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Frankie's my dog. There's a big, and she loves fishing. Yeah. Oh my God, we went out this week when I went out with the Backcountry Skinz, wearing the Backcountry Skinz. It was, I was with Josh, and she like broke up with me for Josh. Oh, there was one point where I went to go pet her because she was doing such a good job, and she like shook her head away from my hand. She's like, yo, not in front of Josh.
Yeah. Be cool.
I'm like,
be
what
cool.
the fuck?
That's so awesome.
Like, not in front of Josh. Josh, of course, is Josh on the fly.
I mean, I get it. He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude who catches a ton of fish. So.
Yes.
I
love it.
But yeah, so there's a big area where she can sit behind me. That's a cool coaster. And I think she'll be pretty happy just chilling out back there,
bobbing around. Yeah,
and then I can stand. I can stand. She can stand. We're gonna have a good time.
Sick.
She loves the water, which is great because I was worried because when we first got her, she was like wouldn't walk through puddles. I was like, oh. And she still doesn't, which is weird. She'll like jump in a river, but she won't
puddles. No way.
In a puddle. Yeah. Anyway,
let's switch on over, shall we, to hear from Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly's rad. Obviously we talk about the brand, but then we get into backcountry, like alpine lake and river fishing, and which is something we don't really talk about. And it's cool. Kelly's from Ontario, lives in Calgary now, so it's cool meeting another Canadian entrepreneur in the fish game.
Yeah. All right, here he is, Kelly. Kelly James Reaume is the co-creator and owner of Backcountry Skinz, a brand of exceptional wet wading products. He was born in Oshawa, Ontario, and grew up fishing bass and perch on Lake Erie, but in 2012, he moved to Calgary, Alberta, shortly after his brother, mother, and sister followed him. The idea for Backcountry Skinz came from the desire for himself to have a better cold water wet wading gear. So during COVID, he and his brother decided to make a go for it, and thus the company was born. When not fishing or living that very busy entrepreneur life, Kelly is spending all his time with his wonderful wife and newborn daughter, but today he is on SoFly. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks a
Thanks for
lot.
coming on. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
man.
been wanting to chat for a little while now because we are fans of Backcountry Skinz.
I appreciate that, man. I'm fans of you guys as well. So I'm excited
Oh,
to be
thank
on the
you.
show with some local, some Canadian folk. So
Heck yeah.
yeah,
Heck
I
yeah.
man.
know, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Some
sure.
fellow Ontario kids here, you know.
Yeah, it's cool,
Where are you
man.
calling from today, though?
I'm based out of Calgary. Yeah. So I'm based out of Calgary. Have you guys ever been out this way or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was there
Oh
last
yeah.
summer actually.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on.
I fished I fished for cutties in the mountains, the kind of like the Kananaskis region.
Oh no way. Right on.
So that was pretty fun. Yeah, it
You
was a
loved
fun
it?
day.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, dude, it was so sick. And like the water was kind of low and stuff, so it was like the fishing was kind of like, but it
Yeah.
was I still got a cutty. It was so awesome.
That's
So
amazing,
yeah.
man. I love hearing that.
Yeah. How's
Amazing.
the fishing out there right now? Like have you been going out a lot? I mean, I know you're a busy dude.
Yeah. Just like obviously, I just had a newborn. She's like 2 months old, so the usual like getting after it early in the spring's kind of a little more in moderation. But yeah, I've gone out on one trip so far for some early spring bowls with a friend. Um, and then I have some backpacking alpine trips packed actually in the next couple of weeks because Banff actually opens up the park, Banff National Park. It opens up July 1st. So like that's where I like to do a lot of
Oh,
my
cool.
majority of my fishing, man. Yeah, Banff is beautiful. So it's
Oh
only
yeah.
like obviously like 2 or 3 hours away from Calgary. So um but yeah, nothing too crazy yet. But like it's been a wet, like we were just talking about, but it's been a wet spring, right? A little cooler, colder or whatever. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
couple
radical. Well, today we want to talk about obviously backcountry skins and we want to really dive into alpine lake fishing because it's something that we've never really talked about. I don't know anything about it. I don't know, Aldo, if you do, but it's
Well,
like
it's
a
definitely something I've
totally
never done. So
yeah, like
yeah.
what a
Oh really?
cool. It'll be a cool
Yeah.
thing to chat about. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that stuff, why don't you just kind of take us through, how you got into fly fishing?
Yeah, so basically, like I grew up in Ontario, like you guys mentioned, bass fishing on the Great Lakes. And then, like, for work opportunities, I decided to move out west about like 12 years ago. And then, like, while you're in town crossing the Bow River, which is a world renowned, like, blue ribbon fishery, you see guys
Yeah,
fly fishing. And you're like, your curiosity starts obviously going. You go online and stuff like that. And you see these guys just holding like big bull trout and like crystal clear blue waters and like with the mountains and like from coming from out east it's very like unique, you know what I mean? Like you when you like you, I don't know when you came out on your trip, but it's so like like they're both beautiful in their same ways, but it's so like so new. And then yeah, you just kind of started like going online and seeing people like holding these big bowls in the backcountry, and I'm like, this is out here, like this is
yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
this is a couple hours from here. Like this is looks like amazing. So then yeah, like I think the first time I grabbed a fly rod, I went down to Montana. I had like the vest on with rubber boots. I was just like tossing the dry fly, like just
Awesome.
snapping it off kind of thing. And then the hyper focus kind of like kicks in, and the obsession, and then you just kind of like take it all in, the scenery and the clear blue waters and stuff like that. And then but yeah, it's kind of that's how it kind of all started. Just curiosity being out here, like fly fishing is very popular out west. Like like a lot of it back out east is like bass fishing and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's that's kind of how I got into it.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's like
Yeah,
the West and like Calgary and like Alberta, and I think those are the places we all like. I mean, from Ontario, I mean, I'm sure you did too. Like we look at those places when we're kids, and we're like, God, that looks awesome because it's such
yeah,
cliched, like awesome
yeah,
mountains and beautiful streams and the best
yeah,
fish.
yeah.
Biggest
So
trout. You
yeah,
know.
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
like for trout, yeah, like I miss so much like the Great Lakes as well, like what they have to offer, like that. They're just such different feelings of
Hmm.
fishing, like they just have this different feel both from like the high mountains and then, bass and pike fishing. Like
yeah,
I just, like over under docks and stuff like top water frogs and stuff. They're just so unique and special in their own ways. But,
Oh
totally.
hell
uh,
yeah.
but I obviously embrace the fishing out here too, you know,
You
pretty.
ever come back here and fish? Like, have you been back in the
I
Philippines?
haven't been back often. My friend actually, back home runs like a charter,
Oh, sick.
out of Port Glasgow, but more of like trolling
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But he
Yeah,
Hmm.
keeps begging me to come out, but I haven't came out yet, but
Yeah.
I haven't gone back in a while, but I would love to, because there is some of that out here as well, like pike fishing and bass fishing. You can find it,
Yeah.
so you can get that fix a little bit, that feeling. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I haven't gone back in a while, but I'd love to
Nice.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's funny. You've always you don't have, but
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I remember
true.
going to Calgary. Oh my God, fishing the bow and
Yeah.
even just in town is amazing.
Yeah. Like that's,
So
I
it
know,
can
like
be.
it's amazing. Oh yeah. Like
Yeah.
great big browns, rainbows. It's people are always guiding on it and drifting it and coming from all over the place just for the bow down that goes down through Calgary.
Yeah.
So, and then you drive a couple more hours and to the mountains, and that's where my kind of obsession kind of started for like char and like you know, the deep backcountry stuff. Adventure. I like the adventure part of it. Yeah, more
Yeah.
than,
Yeah.
just an average angler, but just love the adventure, getting lost out there more than anything,
So is that fair
basically.
to say like that's what kind of hooked you when you got
Yeah.
it was like,
Oh yeah,
yes, I
man.
like
Like
fishing, yes, I like fly
active.
fishing, but
Yeah, like I did the Bow River. Like I have the bow just close to me. It's beautiful fishing. I do go there once in a while, but I barely fish it. I just kind of try and go out into the mountains. I just love the whole feel of it. The feel of being out there and having no like reception and
right.
Yeah.
the big char that are living some of these rivers are just insane. To catch and the places they live. It's really addicting to go out there every weekend for sure and try and get out there or plan a trip with friends or
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
So
How
yeah.
long of a drive is that for you from like home base?
Yes, it's a lot of the places I go. I go into BC a lot too, but I like Banff a lot.
Yeah.
So Banff's only like 2.5 hours from me from
It's pretty
Calgary.
sick.
So
Pretty
yeah, it's
sick.
not bad, right? Yeah, and then you got the bow right here.
Calgary's sick, man. Like honestly,
Yeah.
I'd moved to Calgary. Like I loved it. It was great. The city was awesome.
I
I was
thought
like,
the
this is a
same
Yeah.
nice
thing too. I
place.
was like, I great food, great restaurant scene, great bar
Yeah, like it
scene,
has
great.
like a good vibe too, and then
Oh
you
Yeah.
got
yeah,
the mountains, and if you want to get out of the city, right, and some of the most pristine like stuff, people from all around the world come to Lake Louise and Moraine, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like a perfect fly destination as well, just that it is as it is for people for scenery, like for anglers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you're
Oh my
catching big
God.
fish in these places that are very, picturesque, I guess you could
Yeah.
say.
No, for real.
Yeah.
For
For
real, it
real.
just looked amazing. I remember Mitch and I got to go to Denver this year in January, and it kind of like looks and feels very similar. Um, but Denver was kind of, no offense to anybody who's listening from Denver, but maybe it was just the time we were there. It was just kind of weird. It didn't feel like anybody was like on the streets or driving
I
around.
mean, we literally saw like 12 people
Yeah, we're just like
like
What?
in the
out.
whole city. It was so weird. I don't know what was going on. We
Obviously,
were like stepping
Calgary.
through a portal or something, but
What the? When was
Yeah,
that?
it was kind of weird. I mean, yeah, but
Oh,
anyway,
end of
we
Jan, I think it was. Yeah.
end of
oh,
January,
okay.
but
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was
but
weird.
I remember going to
It is
Calgary and it was
actually
just
like
like,
Calgary. It's like Calgary's sister city. They say that's what they
oh,
say.
Yeah, yeah.
okay. But it's
And
like
like
Similar
same thing. You're like
vibes.
in the
Yeah.
foothills. You see the mountains
yeah,
in the
yeah,
background. It's like,
yeah,
how can you not look out your window or just be driving down the street or on the highway and just be inspired? Like you're just looking
Yeah.
at the Rockies.
you got
Yeah.
it.
What are we like? Like I'm looking at a Shoppers Drug Mart when I drive down the street. You guys are looking at. I mean, it might be different if I lived on the lakeshore. That's pretty
Yeah,
inspiring
yeah,
too.
yeah. That's
But
sweet.
like,
Yeah,
how can you not be inspired to get out into the mountains when
yeah,
you're,
Oh,
man.
in
you're
Toronto,
literally
yeah.
seeing them all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, there's so much to explore out there, man. It's crazy. Yeah, you just wait in the city. You can just see the mountain. Even when you're on the boat, you can see kind of like the
Yeah.
Awesome.
mountains right from the city.
It's so
Yeah,
cool.
man.
So
It's a
that's how
good
you
city.
got hooked on fly fishing. That makes a ton of sense because you're in a beautiful place. You've got access to these alpine lakes that you
Mhm.
said you like kind of became obsessed with. So then why did Backcountry Skinz come about?
Yeah, that's a great question.
And maybe
Basic.
maybe what is Backcountry Skinz first? Just
Yeah.
like we're very so people are very clear what we're
Yeah,
talking
if you
about.
haven't heard about it, I'm sure lots have heard the whole spiel and a lot and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But if you haven't heard about it, Backcountry Skins is basically we're just two brothers. Me and my brother Mike, and we're about a year apart. And yeah, we just sell like wet wading gear. That's like advanced wet wading gear. That's extremely versatile. We came up with the concept basically just because like there's no humidity out west, and even on the hottest days in the summer, um, it's still cold in the mornings and it's cold at night, and the waters are all glacier fed, right?
Yeah.
But we
Right,
just kind of
right.
hated. They're glacier fed. They're cold. Like if the sun goes away, even the clouds cover the sun. Like you're getting cold instantly, right? You're looking for a jacket or whatever. But we love wet wading. We really, because we do a lot of these backcountry alpine pursuits, that waders weren't feasible a lot for a lot of it, right? Like for us, like scaling cliffs or packing in, you're getting rips on your waders, leaky waders, and it gets expensive year in year out. Buying expensive gear. So yeah, basically we started looking online, and guys in New Zealand were wearing like leggings, right? And a lot of the wet wading gear previously, like the khakis and stuff, you still get really cold in them or whatever, and we just like the little baggier and stuff like that. But in New Zealand, basically, we were going online watching like YouTube videos, and all these guys like in New Zealand, like Mike Kirkpatrick and stuff like that, they're all wearing leggings, right? Like their gym clothes, like on the water, and I'm like, this is a great idea. You might get a little more warmth, mobility. You don't got to go maybe spend the money. So we started wearing them, just wearing regular gym leggings, and then during COVID, we were like, man, we were so bored. We're just like, there's no, like everyone's wearing like Under Armour, like Nike ones. I'm like, there's no fishing brand dedicated to this. And how can we make this better? Do you know what I mean? Like, how can we make these leggings more durable out in the wild, keep you more warm? So basically we just started going to the drawing board and testing out different materials. And we came up with the Z series neoprene pant. That's our most popular pant, which is a neoprene compression pant, wading pant. And it's really, I find it the most productive with a pair of neoprene wading socks, which we're slowly getting more neoprene wading socks, a variety, because people get really creative with it. Waterproof socks, neoprene socks, pairing them with them. But that's how the whole concept kind of came about. Like we were just sick of wearing kind of waders, and we loved wet wading, and we just kind of made it better. And we made like pants with dual pockets, drawstrings, cool different designs that we like to get wild with and have fun with, like fishy designs. And it's taken off. I'll tell you that. It's going pretty good.
Great.
People are loving it. It's helping people, right? Like if you're a versatile angler or a traveling angler in the alpine, they're great to have on either in your packs or wear if you want to feel lighter or more mobile. And then if you're an angler that just is like a part-time angler during the summer, it's great to just grab a pair for $150, a pair of Skinz, and you're probably going to get through the most of the season wearing these pair of neoprene compression pants. Most of the people wear them with shorts. So I know a couple guys that don't, but they like to have the tuchus hanging out there. But but I wear them with like board shorts and stuff like that. People are getting all sorts of super creative with it, with different like boots, hiking shoes, breathable hiking shoes, and yeah, we just have fun with it, man. And the support has been awesome, and we're just glad that we can help people out there if with a versatile product that people can wear them under their waders too. They like doing that as well.
Right. True. Yeah.
I've seen some people do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Lots
point.
of people have been doing it, like if their legs are stuck in the water, like steelheaders, for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah. Legit. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll just
right.
Yeah. They wear them, so it's very versatile, I guess. Yeah.
I love it. It must be cool, like building something and putting it out and start seeing how people kind of like remix it and really love it.
Yeah, it's even nervous just doing it at the start. Something that's never been done. You're just like, you get so insecure about it, and you're like, you're so confident building up to it, and then all of a sudden you launch it. You're like, me and Mike are almost just like freaking out. We're like, oh, and then we like watching the computer, like we got a sale, and then we got another sale. We're like, oh man, and then you just kind of like start building your confidence off that. And I think we're like 2-3 years in, and now we got places in fly dressing in Scandinavia, New Zealand, Italy. Yeah, like just slowly growing, right? It's not like it takes time, all things,
Yeah, of course, dude. Frank, that's amazing.
Yeah, we love doing it, man. We're just adventurers like ourselves, just below average skilled anglers that just like adventure and wearing, some leggings out in the wild.
I'm sure you're better than below average. Well, the cool thing about them too is like, if you look at some of the other products, like, if you look at like, for example, those waterproof socks you mentioned, like if you have even like the idea of a pinhole leak in your waders, and you're wearing the waterproof socks,
that's a great,
all of a sudden not such a big deal.
That's a good one, man. Those are very popular for under waders, leaky. That was a good.
Yeah. And then like for us, I mean, you're from Ontario. We love backcountry canoeing, portage trips. I've definitely done them in waders when it's cold, and if you flip the canoe, it's not the most safe scenario on
Yeah,
earth.
you're right. Yeah, that's
So,
another big. You know,
you know, so like for people who like to portage here in Ontario, this to me is like a no-brainer. Like I can't,
yeah,
like,
we sell a lot just to Ontario for canoe. We get pictures all the time from guys
like for
up
canoe
in.
trippers, this
Oh,
would be
huge. Yeah.
sick, I would think. You know, like I'm stoked to use. You know, thank you for sending us some, and we're stoked to try them out. But
Yeah, I'm stoked.
I'm stoked
You
to try
guys.
them out, doing that specifically.
Yeah. Oh,
You
for
know,
sure.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. The mobility, like you said, the mobility,
Oh,
the
The
warmth.
protection. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
yeah,
got her, man.
like I said before we came on, I've been just putting them on to run around the house because I feel so nimble,
Yeah,
which is sick. Because
you feel fast in them too. Like
waders are so cumbersome sometimes, so it's really cool. Like I love the more nimble kind of
you
thing.
just feel like an
Dude,
athlete out there,
fast.
like an angler
Yeah,
athlete. You know what I mean? You're ready just to
totally.
tackle the banks.
Yeah.
But
All of a sudden, I can run. I can run.
start
Now.
all of a sudden I can run.
It's amazing. I can jump.
But I mean, like, you know, you do other stuff too. You got like hats, buffs, accessories, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you've been making. Well, also, I would need to thank you so much for supporting our Credit River fundraiser
Yeah, so
in the
toast.
Of
spring
course. I love seeing
with
that.
your sick waterproof bag. That thing
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Some
man.
dudes from Ottawa drove to Toronto for this
Nice.
thing,
Yeah.
and one of them won the bag. They
That's
were
awesome.
like
I saw the pictures. I
so
was stoked.
amped. They were
Yeah.
so amped.
You look like you guys are having a riot. I love it.
Yeah, man.
It looked like a
Yeah.
great time. I wish I could have be in there with you guys. We'll have to set some
One
up
day.
one of these, you know, get the flights going or something, get a trip going
Heck
or
yeah.
something. It'd be a
Heck yeah.
riot. Yeah.
I love it, man.
It'd be sweet.
Well, that's super cool. I mean, like just the whole idea of like you guys were looking for gear for yourselves, and you're like, let's start a company, and then that company
Yeah.
like blossomed into this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
That's great. Kudos
Yeah.
to you. You know, it's hard being an
Thank you.
entrepreneur. It's not easy.
Wow.
Oh,
God.
it's easy to have that confidence and to, you know, like block a lot of some of the noise sometimes or this and just kind of get tunnel vision. Like obviously I want a pair of waders or whatever, but if you can avoid them, you know, a lot of people like avoiding them when they can, you know, and then also it, you know, like it savors them longer if guys can get out of them more, and then it prolongs their life a little bit too as well.
Totally.
Like you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. We work pretty hard at it, so it's super fun. It's super fun. We just have fun with it. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, why don't we talk now about, you know, what you guys originally designed them for, which was, you know, to kind of satiate your need to get into the Alpine lakes in a more comfortable fashion.
And
What
those high alpine like rivers
Yeah,
and stuff too.
What's
yeah.
that?
what
Sorry,
goes
that's-
into like the kind of high alpine fishing pursuit, as you call it? Like, how do you find the lake you want to fish and
Yeah, that's
do
a
that
great
whole
question.
thing?
Yeah, so there's actually a book if you want to come to the Canadian Alpine, or like out west, the Rockies, like Alberta and BC. I recommend if you're a local or if you're coming here to look for an adventure. There's actually a book called it's like Johnny Ambrose or something like that. You can buy it on Amazon. It's about basically this angler who goes to all these lakes and like documents and journals all his fishing trips, where they are and like what's in them, and like the elevation and stuff like that. But now with all the technology from all trails and like fat maps and stuff like that, you can really plan a trip, you know, that's pretty safe and like you know what you're kind of getting into. And then also now so we kind of like look at this book and try and find like the biggest fish that he's measured, and then we go to that lake. You know what I mean? Like average.
Yeah.
And then we'll try and plan a trip to like go. Sometimes you just get completely skunked, but there's so many lakes in there for so many people to explore. You know what I mean? Like I know some people might get a little, you know, heavier, like, oh, that book or he said it, but there's so many lakes in there for people to enjoy or like to explore. But it's yeah, that's what we kind of do. We just kind of go with this book, and then with pack rafts now, you know how you can pack in and you can really navigate around the lakes really easily now, because we used to just do it on foot, like around the banks. You do like a 20K hike in, and you're just like, well, this is all we can fish because you got bushes behind you. You have no back cast, and you're like, this, whatever, man. Like this was a waste of a trip. But now with pack rafts and things that you can pack in, it makes it really, really cool. Like you know, and that's what we're doing here in a couple of weeks. We got one down in Banff, and all the guys are just sending pictures of the new pack rafts and stuff like that, and waiting to pack in and try and get your bag super light, with the freeze dried food and stuff like that, and what we're using, what flies, and who has the upper hand.
Right. So maybe that's a good question. It's just right before we get into the fishing of it all. Is like, how do you approach planning one of these trips? Because obviously, at one point, you flew from Ontario and you had never done this before. Like,
Yeah,
what did you learn from then to now that you're like, oh man,
yeah,
it's all
like
about like weight or whatever,
yeah, like obviously it's different. I've been doing it for like a long time now, well, decent amount, just like since I've been out west. But you just kind of like get like I get this like hyper focus. I don't know what it is. Like when I start getting like an obsession, you know what I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
you just want more. Like I want to go, like explore, like, or you see a picture for me, and I'm like, where's that? And then you just like get your like spidey senses going and like conversations or whatever, and you're like, that looks amazing, and then it's kind of just like, yeah, an addiction to it, and then you start tying flies. You guys know it's the whole thing, and then like it's just
Yeah.
it
It's because
starts.
these like alpine trips are like multi-day things, right?
Yeah,
Like
like we're going.
it's a serious
Yeah,
voyage.
yeah, you can pick ones that are like, as if you're a beginner or something like that. There's so many on there that are closer, and you could spend a night. You could do a day trip if you really wanted to some of these lakes. There's so many in Banff, like
Yeah.
alpine lakes, like with Yellowstone cutthroat trout. Like our biggest one that I love is lake trout, like the massive lake
Oh,
trout.
cool.
Like at the headwaters of the Bow River, like
Oh
the
my God.
just massive lakes, and these like it's like Lake Louise, but like lake trout, like in massive
That's
lake trout
crazy.
cruising the banks of like, and you're
What?
just
And the
sitting there
color of
with
the water is just like this
it's
light
it's
blue
it's
and
what you see
crazy
in Banff.
viz.
Yeah, like
Dang.
turquoise water. You can see them cruising the banks. You obviously got to go at certain times, but uh, but yeah, there's lots to explore. Like I'm gonna pick some new ones this year to try with the guys, but yeah, there's lots
That's
to
wild.
explore out. There's lots to explore there. I'm sure there's lots to explore out, like no, up with you guys too, eh? Like way up north.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's
yeah,
it's endless.
it's
There's
endless.
so many
Yeah,
canoe.
it's endless.
But I mean, like what we get to do is take every single fucking thing we want with us because we're hauling canoes.
Yeah.
So long
Yeah,
as you want to carry it on a portage, like you can bring
yeah,
it because the canoes are great. How do you go about planning your pack out for one of these trips?
yeah. Basically, like try to make it as light as possible. Like skins, like definitely helps that process.
Mm-hmm.
um, Being in the alpine, wearing them, or even having them in your packs, just getting lighter, like freeze dried food. You set it all out basically, and I think I just looked at it the other day. It's like 20% of your like body weight or something. You should have it at or something like that. So,
Oh, that's
um,
interesting.
yeah, like it can get really technical. But yeah, like freeze dried food, jet boil. Keep it really simple, like a water filtered device or something,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep it really simple. Like um, and that's basically
You don't need
like
much
flies.
food, water. Yeah.
Yeah, food, water, freeze dried food, and
What kind of pack rafts are you guys bringing in? Like, are these things like float tubes, or are
Those
they
like
like?
Cocopelli
yeah,
kind
that's the
of
one I
ish.
got, a Coco
Yeah.
Pelli one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just got the like a lower end Coco Pelli one, lighter one. So I'm a shorter guy, so try and get it smaller stuff. So, but but yeah, the Coco Pelli, like those pack rafts, they pack pretty small, man. Like you get that, and then you get the adjustable, paddle. I recommend getting like a 100-liter bag, with
Mm.
like a frame that you can strap things to. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like one of those hunting packs or something like that. They're really really effective on helping you. Like you can put things on the top,
Right.
on the bottom, and like your rods and stuff.
Those
Well,
So,
things pack small, eh?
oh,
Like
dude,
dude, they're
so
crazy.
small.
Like,
I
Yeah,
never knew that.
yeah,
David, like from Very Good Fly Fishing.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
Kelly.
He
You
does it.
just done some work with him. Like,
Yeah,
man, he did that Adirondack trip
Yeah.
with those
yeah.
Cocopelli. Well,
That
fuck me,
video is
I used one of
wild.
those
Yeah,
Cocopellis with him in Rochester.
yeah. You've
I just
seen
didn't
them.
know they
Yeah, yeah,
folded up like pack size like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
That's
and our,
crazy.
sorry, go on.
Pack them in really light, and then not only that, some of the ones, I don't know if the ones you guys have the zipper in the front, so you can put like your stuff in the bag as well. So if you like
Oh,
want
cool.
to camp across the lake, somewhere better, you can just put all your like your 100-liter bag almost in the front of it. It's crazy the stuff that people are coming out with now for people to get deep out there in the
It's pretty
wild for
cool,
sure.
yeah. And that's
Mm.
definitely something like going back to the backpack thing. Like, we use our 125-liter canoe packs, but
Yeah,
they're totally frameless. And then like yeah, even when I had a backpacking backpack, it was still I've never used a framed backpack, so that's pretty smart.
Yeah, that's the way to go. I think we're figuring it out as we go as well too. Like still learning this too, like trying to get better at it. Just kind of find a starting point, try it out. All right, I starved this trip. We got to bring more food.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Back
Last
more
day was
food.
kind of
I
dodgy.
got snagged 4 times. I got to bring more leeches. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, obviously species dependent, but like on your fishing loadout, like how many rods are you bringing? One? Are you bringing two?
I only bring one, which is some of my friends they bring two, just because like they're scared they're gonna break one or whatever. But I get the confidence going and go with one. But I also know if I like break a rod, I usually just go like straight back to filming or whatever, because I got it. Sometimes when I'm out there, it's really hard. Obviously, you gotta, like, when you're trying to run a business, you want to have fun, but at the same time, you gotta make some
Thinking
content
about
and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you guys know how it goes. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I just bring the one rod, and I'm like, oh, if it breaks, I'll use a camera or something. But most of my friends they bring two rods, I think, two fly
Yeah.
rods, and
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mhm.
So honing in on just the lake trout for a second, because I'm really curious about that. Like, what's
Yeah.
that like fishing? Kind of like you're just you're looking for cruising pods of lakers and casting. Like, how deep are they?
Yeah, like, so usually in the spring, when the ice melts, they come up, because when the
Yeah,
water's it usually makes
the
the whole
oxygen.
lake the same temperature. So they come up, and not only that, that's usually when cutthroat trout and other species start spawning, right? So they trying to actually start targeting them at like creek inflows and stuff like that. So you'll see them, they come up right, and same with the fall when they come up to spawn, right? When the water gets colder. So it's either spring or fall when you got to actually target them. That's for anywhere too. That's just
Yeah.
not out, you know what I mean? Even
Oh
winter.
yeah.
Yeah, like, so if you're looking to target lake trout, because during the summer when they have the thermocline, they usually just cruise that, which is usually like where the temperature, two temperatures change, from like hotter to cold. And they just run that, which is usually like 100 feet down, so you're not fly fishing for them for that.
Right. Of course.
But yeah, in the spring and the fall, the fall is probably the best, to really to target them when they come back up pre-spawn or whatever. You know what I mean? Like way beforehand, when they're starting to, like, get all ready to go. So, but yeah, it's really fun. You're just sitting out there in the mountains, and they're just cruising the banks,
It's
and you're just
crazy, dude.
casting
Yeah.
these big white streamers at them, and it's beautiful. It's unreal.
I thought for a second you were gonna say like, yeah, no, it's like July and the Lakers are in like 3 feet of water. It's some crazy shit out here. I'm like,
Oh,
what? Like, so
like
spring and fall you do
yeah,
Lakers, and then
yeah.
summer months you're kind of going rainbows, cutties, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, cutties. Yeah, and then and then
That's
bull
cool.
trout as well.
Bull
Yeah.
trout, of course.
I'm a
Yeah.
And
big
Yeah.
bulls,
char
yeah.
guy. I just love char. I don't know what it is, man. It's just they're big, aggressive, and the places they live. I like char. Like, I like pike fishing too out here on the fly too, and I love cutties as well. But if I had to pick, I just like, I don't know what it is about char with me, but I love it. Everyone's like, "You
They're
gonna catch
super
another
cool.
fish, Kelly? Like, do something." And I'm just like,
You're
I
like,
just
no.
like what I like, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, lay
But
off
yeah,
me.
I
Yeah.
mean, we've got some
yeah,
pals that have done,
Yeah, the bull trout
the
stuff.
bull trout thing, and they're just, I think they're
Obsessed.
pretty
yeah.
obsessed.
I think you
Yeah.
guys will love it. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't see how we couldn't.
Yeah, like, it's sweet. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and it's all streamer stuff, eh? On the Alpine Lakes, or like, are you guys doing any like sort of still water or like nymphing and stuff like that?
Yeah, for Lakers, like if it's lake trout, obviously like white streamers, pink, you know what I mean? Like, we try and
Okay.
try big ones to try and get the bigger fish. The bigger the profile, usually the bigger the fish. Less in quantity wise, but and then for cutties, yeah, like we're gonna go here soon for some cutties, and then we actually have good luck stripping in leeches, like balance leeches, like just stripping them in, jerking them and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So we kind of nymph a little bit for them and stripping little bugs for them. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
Very rad. Yeah, the Alpine Lake thing sounds super cool because it's like it's an adventure, like you say. It's a hike, it's a camp, it's everything
Yeah.
in a beautiful place.
Yeah, you're out there in the wild, and no one's there to bug you, and you're just in the present moment. And yeah, like, it's the scenery is amazing, and the fish are colorful and cool, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely peaceful. You could even catch just a couple little ones, and you come back from that trip, and you're like, oh, I only caught a couple little ones, but you're like, it still sinks in your mind. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I already can't wait to get back out there. You know?
Yeah, for real, man.
It's
Mhm.
so good too to be like active and stuff, just like moving around and
Yeah, get out there and like kind of make it like you know, just have a couple beers. You go wear them off going up the mountain, like you know what I mean.
You got-
You're even and out a
Have you
little
guys
bit.
have
exactly.
any,
So
had any like just as a side thing, any bear moments in the any grizzlies
bear
showing
I
bear
up?
knew you were gonna
moments.
ask that. I
Yeah.
knew you were gonna ask that.
I'm
We were in
scared of
Montana and Mitch was
scared of
just
bears.
freaking.
I know
We
I am
saw
too,
we
man.
saw a grizzly bear print, and from then it was just like,
I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
we're
oh.
dead for sure.
Well, everywhere you
Like you're
go, everybody's
you're like,
like,
get me
"Oh,
out
you're
of here.
going there," like you shouldn't go there. And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like I'm from Ontario, bro." They're like, "Don't go there, whatever you do." And everybody's like, "All right, let's go." I'm like, "What the fuck?" It's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
like
But when
it
you're
is
like in the
scary.
middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
right? Like on these alpine lakes, I mean, you
you
must
feel
come across some pretty crazy wildlife, right?
you just feel so you feel so vulnerable out there. Yeah, there actually is a couple times, as many times as we've actually been in the backcountry, you would think that there would be some like I was just waiting for the moment for like something to happen. You know how many times we kind of go out there, but there was this one time we were doing this alpine lake for cutthroat trout as well, like some and it was high in the alpine. I think it was like 5,000 feet alpine lake.
Again, I took the words out of my mouth. I was like, well, how much elevation are we really talking?
Yeah,
Like,
like five,
it's probably
six.
pretty up there.
Oh yeah, man, like way up there, like it's cold. It's like middle of the summer, right? And and like I think it was the highest snowpack of it was a winter, like a crazy winter. So it was like the middle of the summer, and then we got up there, and there was just so much snow, like nipple deep still, and we had all these inflatables on our back, right? And we're just like every time we're like stepping on the top of the snow. We're just going right in. You know what I
Oh
mean? And
man,
we had
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
quite
yeah.
a while. We had quite a while to go to get to the lake. We were almost going to give up because it was just like guys were just dropping. We're out of breath. It was just brutal. But we ended up motoring through because you know how you got that itch. You just got to scratch it. We just kept motoring through, and then on the way back, all we saw was these massive grizzly bear prints, just like all of right near all of our like footsteps or where
Oh
we were
wow.
going in the snow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So we were just like sitting and we're still going in the like holes on the way back. And then you're just like sitting there, you're just like, I'm just like a little chicken kebab here waiting for like in the
Straight up.
snow. You're just like if a bear came, you're like, what am I gonna do? Bear spray like his knees
Yeah.
or something? You know what I mean?
You're
You just feel
already
like
on ice.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
you're
just feel
on
like
ice,
so
serve chilled.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
like chilled perfectly, like stuck in the ground, like
yeah,
yeah, just eat me, just take me.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Whatever.
exactly.
But
Yeah, freshly out of their den, like
yeah,
just
Yeah, for real.
starving. Just they're like,
yeah,
ooh,
like you're like sitting there, and like most of those times you kind of move faster, but you can't because you're just going boom back in the water, the
yeah,
snow every time. And these
yeah.
massive grizzly prints. I think I had pictures. It was like you just like start sweating, man. But that
Some
was we
beer.
didn't see him though, but he was obviously tracking us when we went through, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's wild, man.
yeah,
And
man.
then when it comes to like finding other lakes and stuff like that, I mean, like without saying any names of lakes, has there ever been like, over your years a lake you found where you guys were just like, whoa, this is like magic, this place,
Yeah,
Like it's hard. Yeah,
yeah. I send you guys some cool pictures. Some of the lake I can kind of give you guys the storyline on, and then you can show them when we. But yeah, it was like massive. We got there and to the top, and this is the first time. The first time is always the scariest because you never know, right? And then we got up there. It was the first time we went there, and it was just like blue emerald. You could see like it was probably like the lake, even in the middle of like 30 feet, and you can see the bottom, like all the trees, everything like
Wow.
clear. And
that
then
is
we just
so
found,
cool.
yeah, like just see them. We saw like a moose like skull on like deep down in the alpine water, like just sitting there. Like I don't know how
That's
it died, or
crazy.
yeah, we're just like this is insane. Like this is awesome. And then yeah, we got up there and then we couldn't find any fish. You can see the whole lake like around you, looking down as far as can be, and you're like, "Where? Great, there's no fish in here. Like this is
Right.
awesome." Anyways, I'm gonna paddle around and like, you know what I mean? So, but anyways, we got to this other end of the lake, and we there was like all this structure and like driftwood, and then all we saw is like just massive Yellowstone, like beautiful red cutthroat trout just swimming all under our like our paddle boards, and we're just like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing. Like we hit gold, you know what I mean? And yeah, we
Oh,
caught a
that's
bunch of
sick.
fish and had a bunch of laughs and then just try to dodge the bears on the way back down kind of deal. But
Yeah.
Throwing them fish. If a lake is that clear, like, and this is going to be a pretty ignorant question. It's my assumption that if a lake is that clear, there's probably not that much organic matter in there. So, like, what are these fish
that's a great question, actually.
eating? Like, what are they subsisting off of? Like, I have to imagine there's bug life. Duh.
Yeah, like they're rising a lot. There's a lot of bug life, but to get them through the winter, I think there must like you know what? I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna look. Like I've never been a rock roller guy or anything like that. I just kind of get out there and start. You know what I mean? Targeting the fish and or whatever. But I saw lots of like smaller bait fish
Okay.
actually, and like I don't know the actual story to how these fish get into these places. Like you always hear like old wise tales. It's like wise tales that are like guys horseback riding in like the freaking 60s up there with like two saddles and like put in like this Yellowstones or whatever, or like you see like those airplanes drop by with the fish. You guys ever see videos of
Yeah.
that? But I don't really know how they get in there. Like if they also drop like food in there, but it's a very healthy lake. A lot of these lakes that are
Wow,
like,
that's so.
you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. You wouldn't think so. Like that elevation with not that much food, right? Like you wouldn't think that. Um, but there is. So they're eating some.
Yeah.
Super clean water, obviously, like mountain runoff water. It's just like
It is
so clear. You're
glacier.
clean,
Yeah,
cold, right? And then
cold. Yeah,
there's I don't know. It'd be interesting to learn more about the ecosystem. Yeah, like it's a good
it would.
question.
You want to know what? That's a great question. I'm gonna go more into that, looking at that this
Oh,
round for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
same
I
because
saw
it's
lots
like
of bait fish. Right, I'm assuming they probably
yeah,
eat each other too, but like a
for
lot of
for
sure.
it.
sure
But
they
For
must.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that'd
what
be
I
kind of cool to see like Yellowstone
skeletons or
Yellowstone
like
cutthroats trapped in a lake that can't get anywhere else. They just start eating each other.
yeah. I'm sure like the
I'm
little
sure it
ones kind of
happens.
probably do. Yeah, like when they spawn the little eggs and all that stuff. But
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean,
that's
I'm sure like the melt brings food into the
yeah. Oh,
system
for
as
sure.
well,
true
and
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
bugs,
mean,
melt, runoff.
there's always so many incredible things about the Earth too. Like I remember, what I think it was a planet Earth, and it was to stay on the note of bears. It was like the sequence was following a high alpine bear, and it was waiting on this rocky cliff for like these moths to hatch, and then it would just start
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
hoovering these moths. So it's
Yeah,
like, and
that's
they're at like
crazy.
10,000 feet. These moths are just living here. So who knows what's
yeah,
well, somebody knows, but like it'd
yeah.
be
If you
No,
know,
no, I'm actually
listening,
gonna
send us an
start
email.
like, yeah, you
yeah.
guys
So it's
piqued my
cool. Like
interest.
it's such a foreign place. It's we've been so privileged to go on so many trips, but that's to so many amazing places. But
Yeah,
it's definitely
I'm
something I've
gonna
never
give.
done. Is
Yeah.
that mountain fishing? I've never done like mountains. Never been in the mountains.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. What are you
Well,
guys
I mean,
waiting for? We gotta get her going. Hey, get you
yeah,
out
for
there.
real.
sure.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
mean, I fished Calgary, but that's not the mountains. And like, I've been
yeah,
to Montana, Wyoming, but like always the foothills. Like I was
yeah,
never
yeah,
like
Like
done the
in
yeah.
the top of the
in
mountain
the
Like
too.
you're
like
like in the Rockies. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
like in
yeah.
them,
In
yeah.
them. Get in them.
just in them. I
Get
don't
in
know.
those
Get in
Rockies.
there,
How would
deep
you
in the
say?
mountains. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just looks so beautiful and serene. And like you said, now like you watching content or reading magazines when we were teenagers in fly shops, like it was always you were right. You watch it was pictures of guys on the bank just like hopelessly casting at some fish that's just a little bit too far away. But
Yeah.
now like pack rafts and
Oh
new
man,
tech,
we're
it's
just
like
cruising the whole lake up there, like all to ourselves, like no one's around, man. Like you're just out there looking, the birds are chirping. You know what
yeah.
I mean? It's just like
Are you
this
bringing
is
like sinking lines and stuff, or
Beautiful.
is it all just one
yeah,
floating line
yeah,
kind of thing?
yeah.
Yeah. Or I guess it depends on
Depends.
the lake, yeah,
Depends.
or
Yeah, like
river, yeah.
sinking lines, like a lot of in Banff, you can't use lead, so there's ways. There's like
Yeah,
tungsten weights you can use, or sinking line to get it down there. They're faster. There's all sorts of ways to do it. But yeah, sinking line, basically everything, depending what you're going for. If you're going for cutties, mostly just use some floating line.
Mm,
With some good nymphs, like balanced leeches are always my go-to. Always. I tie my own with like tungsten. I get like really like technical with the beads, colors, and stuff like that. But
what
I
are
love
the
it.
what's
probably
your
doesn't
top
matter at
three?
all. But
Well, it might. I mean, like I've got pink is a big confidence. Pink and orange are two
the
confidence colors for
gasoline
me.
colored ones that has all the colors, kind of. Do you know what I mean? Like the
Oh
gasoline
yeah.
color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the gasoline color. Like that one just really does always well for me in red. Pink too. That's pretty good.
Red.
Um, yeah, I even tie red leeches sometimes with red beads. Get really colorful with it, like a gray one with a red tail, even. So, but yeah, you can get really versatile with it for sure. It's a way to fish. There might even be ways out there that people are doing it better than me. Still water. I'm still kind of learning myself. Just kind of bringing a fly box and like you know what I mean. Just kind of really
It's such a
going at
cool.
it.
I mean, it's just such a wild fishery. Like just the idea of alpine lakes and the whole trip thing sounds
Yeah,
really.
and
It's just
they
so
don't.
different for us.
Yeah, it's probably more forgiving in a sense also for a lot of these alpine lakes because they don't really see much action, right?
Right.
So they can make you look pretty good on most days, tossing stuff. So
It's cool. I just had this thought. I was like, it's kind of a cool idea in like this world where we like, like we're talking about beads. I'm looking, my fly tying stuff's right beside me here. I've got like 4 million types of colors of beads. I think it's cool because of the weight of the pack and just
yeah,
it's kind of neat that you do have to like simplify your game,
you
because like you
do.
can't
Yeah,
bring everything. In fact, you're trying to bring as little as possible
yeah.
while
So it
still
makes
staying
you like
effective.
it's.
So
You're right. Like you become this minimalist, and it makes you like. But not only that, like I said, it's a little more forgiving because you got to know in your mind that a lot of these places, these fish don't see a lot, right? So they're really more. They're more interested in anything a lot of the time. But you really got to get that only couple fly boxes and really hope that you got it dialed in to a certain extent. It's kind of nerve wracking a little bit in a way because all of us just want to bring all this gear and you're like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this box. But it's kind of becomes like an obsession just with that. Like how light can I get? And then you start comparing packs with your buddies, right? Like, what did you
Yep.
bring this time? And oh, you brought like wooden spoons, eh? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like
It's fun,
it's
man. It's like
just
a whole thing.
yeah, it's a
yeah,
whole. It's cool. It's like I mean, yeah, we come from the land of boats, whether it's a canoe,
Yeah.
our tinnies, our,
Yeah.
our
I,
beloved
I
tinnies,
love that stuff, man. We
and
get so
yeah,
yeah,
but we can bring whatever the fuck we want. We can bring like
yeah,
6 million flies, or like
Yeah.
every
big
rod on
packs,
earth. It's
yeah,
like, but
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. We bring the fishing shop with us.
yeah,
You
that's
got it.
That
but
is
kind
for
of
sure.
yeah, but
If
it's
you
just kind of
can, it's
cool.
kind of it's the way
Yeah.
to go. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
it's
but
cool.
there's
It
this
forces you to be like focused.
yeah, it does. Like there's this trip, I can mention this, like everyone knows about it, is we're gonna do in August is Fortress Lake, and it's like a very pristine lake that's way in the Alpine. Like they even have like I'm pretty sure like a lodge up there, and you can get helicopter trips, in and out of there, and
Oh,
like
cool.
stay at the lodge and stuff. But you can also as well hike in if you have enough, kind of confidence to do it. And I think it's like 20K one way. And my friends just did it last year. Actually, they took their pack rafts in there, 20K one way. So they went in there.
Oh
It was
wow.
20K, and it's just like massive brook trout.
Wow. Cool.
Like I think it's Lake Nipigon or something like that, like stocked
Oh.
brook trout,
Oh,
like the big ones, the beefy
Yeah. Yeah.
ones that
Yeah.
you see. Yeah, yeah, like they.
Ontario baby.
I'm
Nipigon
not sure
strain
for sure,
brookies.
but I think it's a strain. Yeah, yeah, I think it is them. I'd have to double check, but that's what I've heard through the grapevine or somewhere. But we're gonna do that. But yeah, you hike in, and then we're gonna camp there, and then there's a river that comes out of it, and then you can float out all the way back to the car on your way out, like 2 days later.
Oh,
So like I think
what?
deep
Oh
in the mountains, like
man.
yeah, and it's like you guys will have to look it up, but it looks beautiful. So I've always
Fuck,
wanted
that'd
to
be
do it, and
Hike
it
and
so
float out.
fun.
That's
yeah,
That'd
cool.
be
man, yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, you guys will have to. It's amazing. I've always wanted to do it, but I'm glad my friends did it because they're kind of like the test dummies. So now I
Yeah.
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kind of the stress. I follow him around.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
Totally.
such a
yeah,
cool trip. You
yeah.
hike in your boat, and then you
And you
float
float out.
home.
Yeah, you die on the
Yeah.
way
That's
in, but
neat.
you're like, hey, I don't have to do that again. And you like
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
float
Yeah.
out, right? Yeah,
right.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
okay, it's 20K, but only the
It'd be
one
a cool
way.
experience. Yeah, it'd be a great experience, man.
Oh
The
man,
pictures he was sending me. Yeah, man,
I'd
it's
be
so
so
much
down.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks amazing, man.
Oh, that sounds so
Dang.
incredible.
I'm stoked
Well,
for
this is
that
a
one.
whole. Yeah. It's a whole
Yeah.
world of just stuff to start. I mean, like looking into more Alpine Lakes.
Yeah, I think you guys
Um,
would honestly, if you haven't experienced it, just the adventure part of it just sticks in your
yeah,
mind. You know what I mean? And
totally.
I mean, it's just great memories with the
Yeah,
with the friends for
yeah,
sure.
love
Yeah,
it.
man. Yeah.
Okay, Kelly, we've got 5 questions we ask every guest at the end of every show. Kind of just 5 general questions about fly fishing, like your fly fishing life. So not about Alpine Lakes necessarily. Maybe it will be,
Switch gears.
but
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So the first is, what is your favorite fish and why? If you had to pick a favorite fish,
I have a guess, but
what would it be?
Yeah. I guess. What is it?
bull trout.
Is it bulls?
No, you want to know what? That's funny, man. My mind was like, I'm like, I was pulling
Yeah.
back, and okay, I'm gonna say bull trout in the mountains, but like, or sorry, I'm gonna say lake trout in the mountains.
Oh,
Oh,
mountain
If
lake
it's in the
trout.
mountains, like in some of these waters that I've experienced, I would say that just because I don't know why they're just like these deep, crazy dwellers, and they
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they get to age like 40 or something like that, or even more,
yeah.
I think. But
they're an
but
incredible species.
yeah, I don't know why it is, man. I love bull trout, but that was most people would say exactly what you said. Aldo is if you like bull trout for Kelly, but I like lake trout. Yeah, I like lake trout, man. It's a
Yeah,
little harder. It's a little
big,
harder.
deep dwelling Lakers coming up to a
Yeah,
fly. That's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah,
It's
man.
it's really cool. I mean, they eat huge bait fish,
Huge bait
huge.
you
fish,
know,
man.
and
Like
it's
12
like,
inch streamers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like they. Is it fair to say they're probably the least pursued trout
I don't know.
for
Yeah,
the fly
fly
community
guy.
anyway?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
obviously they swim at like 200 feet, so okay,
Yeah.
but like
yeah. Yeah.
it's
There's
crazy that people don't
Yeah, you don't
make
really hear
more of a
about lake
big
trout.
deal of
Really.
like
Yeah.
trying to time, because
you
really
don't
you it's like you said, like you've got two
small
times a
window.
year you can do it.
Yeah.
It's funny people don't try to time that a little bit more, because if you nail it, like I remember nailing
Yeah.
the timing in a lake close to Ottawa a couple times,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're in the 2 feet of water and they're
Yeah.
chasing clousers.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Like this. I'm in. This is awesome.
like I was
Yeah.
there for pike, and all of a sudden I get a laker. I'm like, wait a
That's
minute, what?
amazing.
You know?
That's a good surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Lake trout, I
That's
love it. I don't think anyone's
yeah,
ever said lake
I
trout
like
before.
lake trout on the fly, man. I do. Yeah. I think yeah, I would. If I had to pick like a good big bull trout river day, and then or if I could catch like like a big laker in like some emerald blue lake in like the parks, like I'd pick the laker, man, I think. And you probably less chance of getting one, but yeah, for sure.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Rocks.
Love it. Okay, number 2 is, if you could fish anywhere in the world right now, assuming it'd be like the best time of year, best fishing ever, where would you go and why? You could pick
Oh
anywhere.
man, that's a good question, man. Where anywhere?
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world, man.
If I had to pick,
Yeah. And it's going to be amazing.
It's like just the season.
like what you see. What is it?
Oh,
The
like-
Seychelles?
Like it's rolling tarpon
Seychelles?
in Florida.
Seychelles, yeah.
It's GTs
Seychelles,
and
is that how you
Seychelles.
say it? Like
Yeah.
Yep.
that GTs and Seychelles, or Seychelles, however you say it.
Yeah.
Say
That
Chili's?
looks, I mean, we've gotten the Seychelles, it's a crazy place, obviously.
How
It's
could
like-
you not want to go
Yeah,
there?
it's
Like,
like
it looks
the-
Is
so
that your guys'
crazy.
bit? Is that your
Oh,
guys'
for me,
pick,
for
or-
sure.
That'd be
Dude,
so
right
cool.
there is that's the winner.
It's like that
right?
or
Like,
Patagonia, you know?
yeah, Patagonia would be sweet too. My brother just did a peacock bass in Colombia
cool.
this past.
Oh.
Like that looks sweet to me too. Like he was on these
Yeah.
wooden boats and
Yeah.
like catching these like top water and stuff. It looked like just like so unique,
So
in a way
unique.
too. But Dorado too. You guys ever
Oh,
think
dude.
of that? Like in like Bolivia or something?
Yeah.
God, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, say Chili's would be badass, man.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I could dig that. What is your best or favorite fishing memory? One of your best fishing memories of all time.
Probably the first time I caught back to the Lakers, man, in one of those lakes. I was seeing a guy or a couple of guys online catching them, and then I kind of found the spot, and then I was like went a bunch of times, didn't get anything, and then I finally got one, and I was just like, they're here. This is it. Like this is it. You know what I
They're
mean?
here.
And that moment was amazing, man. Like just the whole experience of it. I came right to my feet kind of. I didn't see it chase in, like from like some of you can see at the bank and will just come in, but I was a deep cast, and then it came from the depths right at and then it set it at my feet, and then it just like exploded. But yeah, that would probably be the first one of lake trout. Yeah, in Banff. Yeah,
That's pretty sick, man.
yeah.
Okay, number 4 is, why do you fly fish? Why do you keep going back out there?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. I think probably a lot of people would say the same thing, or cliche, but just finding peace and just keeping you in the present moment, and yeah, just kind of. I like out here because you lose a lot of reception in those places, and like running this and stuff, the phone gets wild, and
Yes.
with the family and stuff. So it's just nice to like. There's nothing you can do. No one can get a hold of you, and just letting loose out there. Even if I don't even catch a fish, sometimes just being out there and yeah, that's I love the adventure part definitely of it, and being out there in the present moment, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the no reception thing's cool. I totally feel you.
Yeah, I like it sometimes, man. Like,
Total freedom.
Yeah, like I even sleep better. I'm like, oh man, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not waking up to like
Yeah.
14
Emails,
notifications or
and I'm like, oh,
whatever.
man, and I'm always like,
good.
oh.
Like they're waiting for you, but not tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little worse even after a couple days, but yeah, it's nice, man. It's peace of mind for sure, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, number 5, the last Mitch's Fishies 5 is, if you were a fly pattern, what would you be? What fly pattern represents you best, and why?
Physically or personality wise?
Dealer's choice.
It's like a whole thing.
a little skull pin and features.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would go with the sex dungeon. You can't go wrong with it.
Nice. Yeah.
Go with the articulated sex dungeon on there, just a little wiggle going.
Yeah.
Probably a yellow one. I like yellow.
Yeah.
Nice. Blonde hair.
Yeah. There you go.
Would you say that's your top bull trout fly?
Yeah. I would say that like the oversized sex dungeon or a Dalai Lama. Like we tie them just bigger than usually you can get at a fly shop. You just tie them bigger for more profile. But yeah, Dalai Lama or a sex dungeon. Pretty simple. Yeah, I go with
love it. That's great, man. That's great. That's Mitch's Fishies 5, baby. That's it. And and that's the podcast, which is wild because it always goes by really fast sometimes when we're chatting.
Yeah, we're almost at an hour.
It's insane.
Are we?
Yeah,
I would say that now's a really good time,
crazy.
Kelly. It's the shameless plug. How can people buy Backcountry Skinz? Where are you on Instagram? What's your website? Tell the people.
Oh yeah, thanks. First off, thanks for having me on, you guys. You guys are legends, by the way.
Come on.
Thank you. Personality and everything. You guys are awesome, fun to watch. And yeah, backcountryskins.com. You can find all our gear. And then I mostly just use Instagram for content and to kind of see what we're doing and what we're about. We also have a newsletter on our website, so we always send deals out for our like subscribers and stuff like that. We always send deals out monthly. Cool. Subscribe to that on our website. You'll see it like pop up. And then yeah, just Instagram Backcountry Skinz. It's pretty simple. And yeah.
That's sick, man.
Pretty
some wicked content too, and like you've got some wicked content partners. Like,
thanks, man.
We already mentioned David from Very Good Fly Fishing. He's a super talented shooter.
That video he did was wild, man. It's pretty.
Oh my god! I was like, he put that out. I'm like, I can't put a video out anymore.
Yeah,
I was like, in the edit, I was like, that's just.
I was like, paying
that's it for me.
Good. Yeah.
It's like I'm sticking to Instagram.
Yeah. It's easier that way. Shorter videos. So we'll go with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have YouTube too, but yeah.
It's cool seeing like somebody who, for people that don't know, he is an editor by trade. So it's cool seeing an editor really like gets that creative. It's exciting.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, man, you did a great job. It was insane. It was like I felt like I was watching a Hollywood film. You know what I mean? It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put links to like all the Backcountry Skinz stuff in the show notes, obviously. But everybody go check them out because the products are wicked.
I don't think we mentioned this. They're comfy as hell.
They're very good. Yeah, they're very
like they're not your typical neoprene pants. That's what people need to know, right? Like they have a soft inner nylon.
Yeah, they're not a wetsuit.
No,
No.
it's similar, but like we tweaked it so it's soft on your legs and it's quicker drying
they're sick.
and more breathable. So
Yeah.
They're
yeah,
super, super
I think that was
nice.
the only thing we didn't really talk about was like, yeah, they're actually pretty fucking comfy.
Yeah, they're sick.
yeah.
They're sick. So like, nice
Reasonable
work.
amount.
Yeah, nice work.
Yeah, thanks,
fellas.
man. I'm just
100%.
100%. Thank you so much,
And,
guys. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
try to find some time to fish in the busy life. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yep, sounds good, man.
It was a great chat.
He sent us a picture
Yeah.
of the Lakers he was talking about. In my head, I thought there would be like, you know, these Alpine, because in my head it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Alpine Lake, like maybe not a lot of food.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, you know, 24, you know, like mid-20s kind of fish.
Skinny
No,
lake
this
trout.
thing is, and we'll definitely post about it, but this thing is like,
It's beef.
it's a giant fucking Laker.
Yeah, it's like what you'd find, you know, downrigging for him.
Yeah.
Which I guess he said 150 feet, but I know I thought the same thing. I'm like, it's probably Alpine Lakes. It's just smaller fish, but it's a
No,
big
this
lake
thing is
trout.
insane. It looked like it'd eat me.
Yeah, and just catch them on flies in the early spring. Like, it's pretty cool.
Sign me up.
Oh yeah,
Lakers are really cool.
they are. I still have never caught one.
What?
Never. I know. Isn't that fucking whack? I tried since I was a kid to do it. I bought a downrigger for my canoe, bro, when I was a child, and I had a motor on that too.
Do you still? You just everything you have to paddle, you just strapping motors onto.
Well, I'm downrigging. I'm not gonna like paddle downrig. Well, I guess I could have, but no. Back then, I did the same thing with a
Oh,
trolling
man.
motor,
That's
and I would
so
steer with
cool.
my paddle. It was awesome. Yeah, no, I've just never caught one. You know, it's and then I switched to fly fishing, and it sort of just kind of went away. I did the whole thing in the spring too, like reading about soaking for lake trout and whatnot, like getting them when they're early and throwing them dead minnow out, and I just never got them. But I was fishing, you know, buckshot, which everybody ate the Lakers out of.
Right.
So there's probably maybe 2 fish in there now, like that are just barely hanging on. Someone's gonna catch them and fry them up with some friggin' beans, and you know,
Maybe
there
you-
goes the lake trout.
Maybe that person's you with your kayak and your motor.
Yeah, zipping around, cooking up
Yeah.
Lakers.
I caught my PB's 17 pounds.
That's a big fish, and
Which
you weren't
was-
expecting it. You were a kid.
I was a kid. Yeah, I was a kid. It was in the Gatineau Hills, and it was wild.
17
wild.
pounds as a kid.
My
too, you'd be
stupid fucking
freaking out.
dad just fucking doinked it on.
Oh, you guys ate it?
Yeah, he like just it was like this beautiful
way.
female, and he just like before I had a chance to. He's like, "Oh, I'll take the hook out." I
And
was
then
like,
he's just
"Okay,"
killing it.
and he just killed it. And I
It's,
was like,
you know,
"Oh my god, Dad!"
When
I'm
we're
like,
kids,
"Ugh."
dads have no
I
idea.
was
They're
like,
like,
"Look
you
at
eat
the
it.
size of that fish." I was like, "Why would we ever?" Ugh.
That we don't, and it probably filleted. You guys probably didn't fillet it that well.
My father, no, he cut it into steaks, bro.
Yeah. And was it good? Do you remember if it was?
Oh
any
yeah,
good?
no, it was delicious.
tasty,
Like
yeah.
we barbecued it with Saturday dinner with all the Italians.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, there's something cool about
Maybe
that.
it wasn't so sorry. We got 17 steaks out of it. I think it was like 14 pounds, 12, 12
anything
14
over
pounds.
anything over 5 pounds as a first lake trout when you're a kid is pretty sick.
That was
That's a
amazing. I haven't caught
big
many
fish.
in my life, but that was like, oh man. Well, then we definitely have to try to do these Lakers with Kelly.
Well, and the other thing too is like, I think back to when you guys fished the Niagara that one January.
oh, that too. Oh my god, yeah, for
the
sure.
fish are just laid up in shallow water, and Josh hooked that beautiful fish.
Oh,
And we don't think about that really because it's probably we just haven't figured it out. I don't know if anyone's really tried to dial. I'm sure people listening have dialed it in. On the fly fishing
Paul
game for lake trout.
Castellano
Yeah.
is dialed,
On the
fully
lake,
dialed.
out on the lake,
No, on the river.
on the river from his boat though.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I'm talking like swinging like for these things. Like
Well, when we were with when we did the Rochester trip with Reddington, like
Yeah.
Demisha hooked like 4.
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Up
Oh
in
no,
Rochester.
they're dialed. People have it totally dialed.
So what the hell are we doing? You don't
Um,
hear that much about the Lakers. You always hear salmon, steelhead, blah blah blah. You don't really hear people like, oh, fucking lake trout season. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have the the shimmering aura of a steelhead, Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
which it should because like those fish. I think the people
They're
that
so
fish
cool.
the Niagara River, the ones I spoke to anyway, they're pretty stoked when they get a
Yeah.
Laker, but they are kind of like also making fun of it. They're like, "Oh, look at that greasy pig," you know. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
they're-
this, "You mean this absolutely beautiful
majestic
native
creature.
fish?"
Yeah, this
Yeah.
majestic creature.
But they're eating, dude. When the
Yeah.
smelts run up the Niagara, that's what they're eating. They come up, they eat it. That's what
Makes sense.
you know, using smelt patterns.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you can swing them up. It's definitely better it's safer, sorry, I should say, if you're
Yeah.
a bank angler from the American side.
Right.
Having now done both. Yeah.
Well, we got to do that. We got to do that this winter because that looks fun. And lake trout, yeah, I've never caught a friggin' lake trout.
Honestly, it is really fun. It's super fun because
Makes sense to me.
You can dead drift jigged streamers, or you can swing them up on a spey rod. It's
I've caught everything. I like from Ottawa, Eastern Ontario. Like I've caught a muskie, I've caught pike, I've caught walleye, bass. I've never caught a laker. I think that might be a mission this January.
Get Mitchy a laker.
Yeah, Operation Lake. Take a lake.
Make her a laker. And if we go on the American side, then we'll dip into Buffalo and go get some wings.
Yeah, I love it.
At the Anchor Bar.
That's a pretty cool name for a bar.
It's where the buffalo wing was invented.
What? Huh. I'm not a big
which
wing
is
guy.
Which is just Frank's hot sauce and butter.
I'm not a big wing guy because I don't like getting my fingies all saucy.
You don't like flavorful, delicious food?
I just don't like getting my fingies saucy. I like lemon pepper wings.
Well, you can get dry ones.
That's what I like.
All
or
right,
just
well,
dip. Dip the wing.
Let's go to the Anchor Bar and get some fucking some dry rubs, brother, and a Miller Lite.
Well, there you go. Okay. What else do we want to talk about here?
I don't know. I got nothing else. It's we're recording this June 28th. This is out July 1st, so happy vacation long weekend to everybody out in Ontario. And then of course our American friends in a couple days is July 4th.
Isn't it like your mom's birthday or something?
No, my mom's birthday was June 17th. It was your birthday.
Oh, it was my mom's birthday yesterday. Your mom's birthday is June 17th? Yeah. So your mom, then it's my wife, then it's me, my mom. Jeez, isn't it someone's birthday this weekend? Well, it doesn't matter. The listeners don't give a shit. But yes, it is the middle of it. Is really, we're getting into summer now, so I hope everybody's enjoying it. And
I think this is still the summer kickoff. I
think so. Yeah. It's not July quite yet. A couple days, and we're gonna be drinking some beers and having some fun and staying safe out on the water. But
and down rigging from our canoes
for lakers that don't exist.
Forget fly fishing.
Yeah, for real. Let's get some bait casters going, man. Let's go catch some fish.
I'm definitely going to be looking for. I think, I'm definitely on. I want to do a little lily pad hunting.
We should do something with. I've been listening to another podcast called Average Ontario Anglers. You ever hear those guys?
No.
Check them out. We should do something with those guys because they're just two guys. We're two guys. They gear fish. We fly fish. We should challenge those guys to like a fish off.
Okay.
But I'm just thinking like, hey,
I hope you're ready
what?
to get absolutely
dominated. I never got a lake
Are they bait casters?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're gonna catch so many more fish than us. You out of your mind?
I know that would kind of be awesome though. Like we just completely get obliterated and lose terribly, and they're just fishing like,
Well, no, I haven't. Are they fun?
Yeah, it's a good show. I like it. It's really good. I'm sure some people that listen to this listen to that too because it's another Ontario podcast. But
love it.
Super cool guys. Really nice.
Love creative content coming out of Ontario.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, we should hit them up. Teach us your ways of the bait caster. Completely abandon SoFly. Go into spin fishing.
Bait.
Okay, well.
If you haven't yet, our full-length video for Manitoulin Island is out and pumping on our YouTube, so go check that out because I think Mitch Baumile did an awesome job capturing that whole thing.
Yes. Yeah, check it out on YouTube.
Captured by Mitch,
such a beautiful area.
By us.
Such a crazy area. Like that spot. It's like wild. So much to explore.
I don't know if you could do it all in one lifetime.
Probably not.
I mean, it's pretty crazy too, like the stuff that Brian does, the non-fishing stuff that Brian does. Like if you look at his, like all you have to do is go to Brian's TikTok or Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, because of the La Cloche Mountains, he's like backcountry, like mountain biking. He's like skiing. The
whole shebang.
The shit he's doing is amazing. Like he really, I mean, I know he's from there. He grew up in the, he's an indigenous guy from Whitefish River First Nation.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's so about that land and the area, and he's just recreating in it. It's so cool.
Oh man, like in the video, seeing him just pull up to Mattia's dock, like in his boat. It's just like so sick. They just drive boats around up there. No cars, brother. We're boat people.
Yeah, they are. They are boat. They're all boat people. They just
Yeah,
talk about
sick.
their boats, and they're all
Boat to
these
boat.
steel welded boats. It's like crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, go check it out on YouTube. So Fly Fishing Podcast on YouTube. Anyways, thank you so much, Kelly, for coming on the show, and everybody for listening. We hope you're having a fun summer. And send us your fishing stories, and we'll send you a hat. info@sofly.ca. If we like your story. Not everyone who sends a story. We only have like 2 hats. But anyways. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. That's it for me, Mitch, Aldo.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
And take care.
Comb your hair.